Tony Stark in movies and then Tony Stark in real life, who's known as Elon Musk. These famous people having a success as a result of their novelty and their strong social network. So this is a summary of the book by Allen Garnett, The Creative Curve, How to Develop the Right Idea at the Right Time. Now in this book, Allen Garnett demystifies the mystery of being creative and how to be labeled a genius in one's generation. He makes conclusions from scientific researches and other real-life examples based on principles he stated. In a summary of this book, he talks about how creativity and being labeled a genius can be intentional. He starts with well-known geniuses like Leonardo da Vinci and then Charles Darwin, who did not have any special or unusual abilities but became great in their scope of enterprise. Allen related creativity with intelligence and concluded that one's intelligence or IQ level has no relation with his or her creativity. This was based on a research by Austrian psychologists in 2003, where they assessed the IQ levels of several individuals. Participants who had IQ levels greater than 150 were compared to participants who had IQ levels greater than 86. Those who had IQ levels greater than 150 were limited in their divergent thinking abilities. That is the ability to think creatively, to come up with new ways of solving the same problem, new ways of solving different problems. The book goes on to say, to unlock creativity, one needs to practice purposefully and should be open to critique and feedback from teachers. Time spent practicing to achieve certain levels of competence should be purposeful. Practicing to achieve a creative potential should not be based on practicing the same skill over and over again. Another important determinant to be labeled a genius or creative is timing. Timing plays a role when it comes to launching of a product for it to be successful. The genius pop artist Ed Hardy wouldn't have made his name if he came up with the songs when hip-hop and R&B were making waves on the scene. Ed Hardy, Charles Darwin, Leonardo da Vinci were outcomes of good timing. Ed Hardy, a tattoo artist who got into the fashion industry and blew up, became a victim of timing. The world got used to his clothing and his sales tanked. Allen stated another research which concluded that familiarity or popularity with a product makes everyone think positively about it, which is the reason why Ed Hardy made millions of sales. What Ed Hardy lacked was what put Ted Sarandos, the name behind Netflix, on the movie map. Ted Sarandos, a keeper of a video rental store, could recommend the right movies to his customers based on their description or preferences. He came up with something new, Netflix, which Ed Hardy failed to recognize, which is something the 21st century is yearning for: freshness, newness, or novelty. Professionals who use novelty to build stay in the creativity game. They include painters, songwriters, artists, chefs, and many more. Those who fall behind in this marathon finally fade out. Allen recommended that any creative artist should spend 20% of their time consuming the output of their industry, both trending and old, so that they can come up with something new. Allen spoke about writers who have dreams to be authors but are shying away because they think they don't have the words or are not smart enough. A successful novel does not depend on how one's words are crafted or how smart he or she is. It's about falling on the positive side of the creativity curve. Allen made reference to Beverly Jenkins' success due to her bravery to introducing freshness or novelty in the literature industry. She fell on the sweet spot of the creativity curve when she came up with a new genre in literature known as Black historical romance, which always had a happy ending. Allen went on to talk about very noticeable sameness among label geniuses in the 21st century, including Tony Stark in movies, and then Tony Stark in real life, who is known as Elon Musk. These famous people have been a success as a result of their novelty and their strong social network. They have a very solid social community among the common and the favorite people in their industry. Tony Stark is always seen with his famous movie actors who are his colleagues in the industry, both the actors and the actresses. While Elon Musk has lots of friends, teachers, and employees who are well versed in the tech industry. The birth of Elon Musk and Stark in their industry verify the last research Alan made reference to. Some innovators and scientists came to a conclusion that the quality of your social network can determine the longevity and productivity of the innovator's career. The quality of reputation of a high-achieving artist can be strongly related to the number of relationships they have had with other high-achieving artists. Now let's look at the summary of whatever we've summarized from the book. There's a formula to getting labeled as a genius. So what are the formulas? 1. Good timing. 2 is novelty, which is freshness or newness. 3 is familiarity. That's associating with those who have been successful in your area. Then the fourth one is closely related to familiarity, which is having a strong social network. So as a reader, as a listener, what are some take-home tips or actionable tips you can take home? So 1, successful creatives need to be put on the spotlight by other creatives. So if you're a creator, if you are an innovator, you are coming up with something, you need to network. So the second point is do more work, produce more work till you produce something fresh. Then the third point is you need social recognition. You need to network. You need a promoter who will introduce you to your target audience, someone who is credible enough. And lastly, which is a very important point, introduce your product or launch your product at the right time by looking at the pattern of these successful people or mentors you look up to. Now, before this video ends, I have a suggestion. If you're interested in this topic and you want to go further, there's a book titled Thinking in New Boxes by Luc Hibra Van Der and Alan Ayney. This book looks at how you can be creative as an innovator and then creates a clear understanding to the creative success or the steps to becoming a genius. So I believe by now you know creativity rules. Thank you for watching this video. I know you come back for more. Keep studying by yourself.